K, those glasses are fabulous.
All right, preparing to stream.
Those glasses are fabulous. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and Coach Mo, don't even get me started. I saw yours. Don't think I didn't see them. Those joints over there are hot as fire.
Thank you. I love Dr. K's glasses. Yes.
Right?
All right, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. We're so happy to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the BizNet Facebook group and Simone Family Foundation's Life Lessons with Life Coaches, right? Is that it? Lessons with Life Coaches.
Life Coaches.
Thank you, thank you. So we're so excited that you guys are here. Thank you everyone for coming. Share this information if you have not already. Share it to your page, send it to a friend, anyone who you believe may be interested in learning about coaching, business consultation. Share it. This is something that we should have access to, and we're bringing it to you live. So we're so excited. I'm Felicia Simone. Might be a good idea to introduce myself first. I'm Felicia Simone. I am the CEO of Simone Enterprises and Entertainment Company. And I'm also the organizer of the Simone Family Foundation. And we're so excited to be sponsoring this event and others and bringing this directly to your living rooms or wherever you are. So just want to go through and introduce my co-star right here. This is Mickey Young Brown. Mickey, yes, you're my co-star.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Mickey Young Brown here. Thank you so much. Again, I need you to share. We're sharing. We got to get the word out about this. This is to help our community. Again, I'm Mickey Young Brown. I am founder and owner of Sid Financial Solutions and also MYB Journals. Again, I have the honor to be the co-star with my partner in crime, Miss Felicia there. So give it up for her. Thank you, everybody that's joining out there today in Facebook land. We truly appreciate it. And I don't know about you, Felicia, but I'm ready to get this on.
Let's go. I'm ready to get started too. So we have a very strict schedule that we have to adhere to, okay? Because folks got things to do. And remember, these folks are providing this information pro bono. So very, very important for you to acknowledge that they are providing their time for you because they believe in the cause. So we want to get started first by doing our introductions. We want to make sure that you are familiar with how everything's going to go. Again, for this session, we have some great things that we're going to tell you, and we're going to commemorate some milestones that we met today. So stick around so you can hear about that and learn what those perks are and those rewards we're going to give away. But we're excited that you're here and becoming a member of our BizNet. Remember, Lakia is going to, our wonderful moderator, Lakia is going to put that information in the chat. It is recording. Yes, you can still join. If you see some people in the waiting room, let them go ahead and pop in. They should be able to come in by themselves. Okay, but yes, we're excited that you're here. Stick around so you can find out what the prizes are that we're going to have at the end just for you attending, and invite some folks, especially some younger professionals or people who are very much interested in learning about how to better their business, some practices that could help them in terms of their life or personal development. There's just so much here available for you. So we want to make sure that we give it all to you and that you are attentively listening to these folks because they have something to give you at the end. So make sure you're listening. It might be a pop quiz. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to get started. We are live and ready to go. I'm introducing Desiree first. And I'm so excited to be able to do that. We're going to introduce them because you should have seen the intros on our pages. Hopefully you watched that. But I'm going to first introduce Desiree, Dezi Speaks Riley, who I'm so excited that she is a part of this because she is magnificent. And Dezi is from Philadelphia originally, right? Okay. From Philadelphia originally. That's actually where we met. And Dezi is an author, You can tell from her beautiful picture if you haven't seen it on our page. She also is a personal development partner from Mexico, where she's hailing. You see those beautiful trees behind her. She's an author, artist, mompreneur, visionary, and graduate of the Ohio State University with a focus on helping to shape this world into a better place for everyone. Her most recent work includes the book Felony to Freedom. I have it. It's a journey to liberating an incarcerated mind. And she's also on an international single, right? You did a foreword. Oh, the foreword was by the Grammy Award-winning Emille.
Yes.
So we're so excited to have her. Dezi spends most of her time traveling the globe, literally the globe. And she also spends a lot of time homeschooling. That's how we met, and doing her work as the well-being specialist, as she's known. She's also the owner and operator of multiple community-oriented businesses and entrepreneurship-centered nonprofits. So we're so excited. Dezi's going to put her information in the chat. So after you hear her speak, you'll want to get in contact with her, and she may be giving something away at the end. So make sure you're listening attentively. All right, so we're excited to have Dezi here, and thank you so much for coming, Dezi.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I just want to say that I'm honored and humbled to be here. I'm very new to this space, and that's why I call myself a personal development partner. I feel like on this path, I'm so new to it, and I'm fresh, and I'm developing with you all. As we know, this is a lifelong journey. Like, healing is never really complete. Like, there's always something that we have to discover about ourselves, blind spots, as I've learned through Fit to Navigate, that a lot of times we don't even know, until someone is able to reflect that and share with us things that they've noticed about us that we can't see about ourselves, or situations that they've been in. And I'm your partner through that. And because I totally understand that I'm also still developing. And I have a motto I call MBE, mutually beneficial exchange. I understand that everyone doesn't have money. It's been times, even now, where, I don't have money and things, but I think that there's always a way to exchange services with someone, because everyone is valuable regardless of whether they have money or not. Everyone has something that they can bring to the table, and so if we can establish a mutually beneficial exchange, I think that that's the best way to move forward. And money is always obviously a tool, and it's necessary, but I think that new models need to be established, because too many times people that are valuable and worthy fall to the wayside because they can't afford a set amount. And I think it's important that we literally are that change, and we apply those changes to our lives that we need to see happen in society. Otherwise, they won't happen. And as your partner, let me stick to the point. I think that my specialty is emphasizing the value of imperfection. I put some notes here because I'm trying to be very professional. Authenticity is more than a new hot word. I think it's really important to be the effortless you, like who you are. Everybody forgets to brush their teeth sometimes before they go to bed. Sometimes, you're just tired. You might forget to give your kids an extra snack in their lunch, whatever. Like, just own that, own your path, just be effortlessly you, be unique in your own skin, and understand that might be what sets you apart, and when you're niche and what audience you're servicing, and just be authentically you. And people that resonate with that will gravitate towards your voice. And you understand that in every situation, like in order to eliminate what they call I know all of you have heard of the imposter syndrome. That's something that I know a lot of us struggle with, especially young professionals. The imposter syndrome, you can go through years at a job or doing something, muscle memory, and still feel like we're not good enough at it. But like, understand that your uniqueness, your authenticity is the secret sauce that puts that filter on it that just makes what you have, whatever your service is, so perfect for somebody, maybe not for everybody. And then to really just own that I'm not for everybody, and I don't want to be, That was a freestyle. I'm gonna go back to my notes.
No, wait. I'm gonna stop you right there. She said that was the freestyle. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the freestyle.
I'll
So
be
I
I'm
know.
actually having a hard time sticking to my notes. I'm doing the notes and I'm all over the place.
You got to keep it real here.
The
That's
freestyle
okay.
has value.
You
That's
got to
right.
keep it real here. We
That's
keep
right.
it real here.
That's true.
That's right. It's fine, Dezi. And hold that thought. Look, trust your soul. Hold that thought. We're gonna come back. Look, she was ready to dive on in there. Yes, ma'am. And keep it real. Feel very comfortable keeping it real. And we're gonna come back to you after after Mickey introduces the other coaches, because we see you ready to answer. Hold that thought.
Get ahead of myself.
You are fine. Like I said, just keep it real. I have the pleasure of introducing Mernice Oliver, AKA Coach Mo, a life strategist and business consultant from Snellville, Georgia. Did I say that correct, Coach Mo, Snellville?
Yes, you did. I am a
Great.
true Southern Belle. Yes.
That's right. Coach Mo is a lifestyle strategist and business consultant who helps high achieving women executives and entrepreneurs push past the chaos and overwhelm to launch more, earn more, and thrive more in business. Mernice Oliver International LLC was designed and launched in 2014 to assist women entrepreneurs in building profitable and sustainable businesses so they can build a life and a business that they love. Mernice, again affectionately known as Coach Mo, has served and worked in the industry for over 20 years as a claims professional, fraud investigator, corporate trainer, corporate recruiter, and agency owner. And today, Mernice offers executive coaching, leadership training and development, lifestyle management and redesign, and full-scale business consulting. For more information about Coach Mo and her services, again, they'll have that information in the chat, I believe, www.merniceoliver.com. Coach Mo, what do you have to say today to introduce yourself, ma'am?
Wow. Well, let me say this. I don't think I need to say much because Dezi, she was saying it all for me. And I'm like, I'm all here for it. I am. You know, she sparked us up and I am super excited to be here. But first, just let me say how grateful I am for this platform. I really believe that this is it really is about community, and community is the linchpin of change. And so I am excited that I have been divinely guided to come and be a part of this change and really helping entrepreneurs see who they are to be able to build more, thrive more, launch more, and yes, make more money. I don't know where it began that we started to think that money was a bad thing, right? That was a bad word. But profit is a good thing. That's what we're all in business for, is to make a profit, right? And so I am just super excited about BizNet. I'm super excited about the community, being here to share and support. And I'm just ready to jump right into it. So let's get started.
Y'all heard that? Let's get started. She's ready to jump into it. I'm with her. Yes, Coach Mo. I'm excited. I'm now have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Keshius Williams, who's a life and personal development coach from Conyers, Georgia, right in my backyard now, my new backyard. Dr. Keshius is a certified life coach, speaker, author, and founder of Academia Solutions Consulting, an online adult learning platform for the childcare industry. Her coaching experience is in purpose, coaching where she believes life should be lived on purpose and not for purpose. It is then you find your purpose to become the best version of yourself. Dr. Williams' goal is to empower, to know that you can overcome anything with the right purpose mindset. She can be contacted at KeshiusWilliams.com, and her number and information will also be in the chat. And Dr. K, tell everybody a little bit. Give them a little nugget, not too much now.
Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. Like Felicia said, my name is Dr. Keshius Williams, also known as Dr. K, the Purpose Coach. Again, I do believe that life should be lived on purpose and not or purpose. This simply means you have to be intentional, about your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Because when you live an intentional lifestyle, it is then that you find your true purpose. We attach purpose with, everybody says, okay, well, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? We attach it with accolades or with a career, but it's not about any of that. It's about that inner peace and being intentional about your living. So again, thank you for having me, Felicia. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to meet all you amazing people, and let's get this thing started.
Awesome. And then last but certainly not least, Mickey, you got it.
I got it. Last but not least, we have Mr. Emille Bryant, personal and business consultant from Reston, Virginia. Now, Emille is a personal and business consultant, veteran of the United States Air Force, and a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy. He has led large and small organizations successfully, including garnering multiple individual and organization awards for leadership, organizational excellence, and valor, including, now get this, y'all, he was named the #1 instructor at the Air Force's premier leadership school. He understands how to fuse purpose and vision into clarity and focus so you, your team, and your business can execute with excellence. And again, his information will be in the chat also. So again, now we have Mr. Emille Bryant.
Well, hey, family, it's good to have you all here. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us. I will keep it short and sweet. My job as a consultant is to help you figure out the plan.
That came up on you.
When we're planning,
They in that house, right?
envision the future and then take the next step.
My mom gotta be like, yeah.
Often confounded me, and I find it often confounds many.
Hold on 1 second, Emille.
We having a meeting and we on the wall. 2, 3
Hold on 1 second, Emille. Let me make sure folks are, look here, could you make sure everybody's muted except Emille? Thank you so much. I know folks are coming in a little bit tardy. All right now, they're gonna tell y'all about that at y'all consultation. All right, go ahead, Emille. We're sorry, start over.
It's all right. So what I have found is that the plan often is a dream, and we don't know how to take the next step. And especially Black folks, who I love my people dearly, and I want to help us succeed on our terms. We're very good expert at succeeding on someone else's terms and doing what other people tell us will make us successful. But I'm here to help us plan our lives brilliantly and then take that next step. All I ask is that we take one step every day. If we can do that, we can win whatever we set out to do. So how do we take that next step? That's what the 4 of us are here to help us figure out. How do you envision that future? How do you build a plan? And then how do you take that one step each day that gets you a little closer to the excellence that you know you have inside you? I too connect with purpose. I call it ikigai. It's a Japanese word that means the reason why you wake up. And the reason why I woke up today is right here, is y'all. So I'm happy to be here, proud to serve.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited, especially with this is a networking opportunity beyond compare, first of all, just with the folks who are in here, but also with these phenomenal coaches who have given of their time. I'm excited. Networking just within itself, Mickey introduced me to Emille, who is now my business coach. And I'm excited because I'm inspired. It keeps me inspired. And these other young ladies, I'm in their groups and I follow their pages and their podcasts, and I need to stay inspired, or y'all won't like uninspired Felicia. It's not the same. So I'm so excited that we've been able to pull this opportunity together, and we're going to get right down to it because questions have already come in, and we're going to start with, let's see. Question 1.
Yes.
Emille.
Yes.
How is personal consulting different from coaching?
All right, so as you heard me say in my introduction, I'm all about the plan. The reason why I focus on the plan, which is what makes me a consultant, is because I've recognized that for a lot of us Black folk, planning is not something that we're good at. We're not expected to do it. A lot of us come from backgrounds where we don't have a lot of stability and security to create a plan, and we don't have the ability to envision the future in a way that makes sense to us, that we can begin to break it down into the necessary steps and components. So if we look at milestones and we say, here are the things that I need to do in order to be, let's say, a medical doctor, then I have to get into medical school. In order for me to get into medical school, I have to get a bachelor's degree. In order for me to get a bachelor's degree, I have to take an SAT and get a certain score on that SAT. So each one of these milestones is part of an overall plan that helps me achieve this vision or this goal that I'm setting out for myself. I don't actually help you execute the plan. That's where the coach comes in. I do some coaching, but the coach is there to take you through each step, keep you inspired, motivate you, and especially, this is what coaches are good, really good at, is help you see the blockages that are preventing you from taking that next step and help you not just get past it, but confront it in a healthy way and go through that blockage so that you can reach the next level of your success and growth. As a planner, as someone who's consulting, I'm going to see those blockages in how you plan. I'm going to see those blockages in how you envision yourself. I'm going to see where you're limiting your language, limiting your vocabulary, limiting your vision of who you can be. And as a consultant, I'm going to get you through those blocks. I'm going to get you to that plan. And then I guarantee you, our plan will be exactly what you need to succeed. If you want to go one step further, you hire a coach who's going to walk with you through the plan. They're going to refine it with you, and then they're going to keep you going. So the consultant piece is more planning. The coaching piece is more execution.
Awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And out of the three of you, would one of you also like to piggyback on the response to that? Did you have any other words before we moved on?
Yeah, I completely agree. I want to jump on that part. Just kind of this is a great segue into really about looking at a strategic plan. I agree. The coach really is there to hold you accountable. The coach is there to motivate you. The coach is there to make sure that you have support, that you have a sounding board, someone that can brainstorm your ideas with you or brainstorm your plan with you as well. I think what really happens sometimes, it gets a little muddled. You know, one of my mottos is change is hard at first, it gets messy in the middle, and then it's gorgeous at the end. Well, the messy middle is the part where a lot of us are, really reluctant to be a part of that. We don't want to be part of the messy middle. The messy middle is about the execution. It's about being held accountable. It's about really uncovering those roadblocks. When I'm working with a client, we talk a lot about, mindsets. And what are those self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back? And so I completely agree with the gentleman that was just speaking before me, because that is where I believe that we're missing the point when we're actually trying to move forward in whatever endeavor. I agree with whatever endeavor that we've decided, whether we've decided to be a business owner, we want to go to medical school, or we want to become a minister, whatever it is, it really all began to start in that messy middle. And one of the biggest parts is in that mindset and uncovering those roadblocks.
Yes, that is so good, Dr. Moore. I want to add to what you're saying when you talk about that messy middle, because that messy middle is also the transformation. You know what I mean? Because there's when, okay, you done dug into this thing, you know what I mean? But you starting to come up out of it. You're starting to change you, and then you walking right on into the end of it. So yes, I agree with both you guys.
Thank you so much. And Mickey, we're going to move on. Mickey has the next question.
Mickey, you're muted.
I'm sorry about that. Next question is for Emille again. Emille, how do you unlock creativity?
Let me unmute myself. So this concept of unlocking creativity is something I felt so strongly about. I created a course. You can find it online at www.brazencreativity.com. And the course is called Awaken to Brazen Creativity. And the reason why I created this course was because when I was in corporate America, I saw people's creativity stifled, and it hurt. I'm working with people who are brilliant, but they're doubting themselves. They're second guessing themselves. They're tentative, or they feel like, and I've heard this too many times, I'm not creative. And I'm like, hold up. You are a wellspring of creativity. So how do we tap into that creativity? And that's what I created the course for. In a nutshell, the redefinition of your barometer, the way you measure your life, is the beginning of creativity. Because most of us were limited in kindergarten. You got a star if you did right. You got a gold star. You got a smiley face. You got some reinforcement for doing the right thing. The problem with that is it works great for kindergarten, but it's reinforced for 12 years. By the time you graduate from high school, you're doing the same thing. You're working for the gold star. We call it an A. We call it a good grade or a good SAT score. And guess what happens in those 12 years? All the creativity of a 5-year-old in kindergarten is systematically drummed out of you so that you can fit into the system. And the system is created to make you do one thing: fit into somebody else's vision, work hard on their behalf, maybe raise a family, work a little harder, die. Now, where in all of that is you? This is where we have to redefine the barometer. When we say, what is success on your terms? And I'm gonna push you, because part of success is what you have to define it as. And you can't define it as Bentleys and popping bottles. You can't define it as I want to be a rapper or an athlete. You have to look inside and you have to start asking yourself that very difficult question: what was I put on this planet to do? Once we unlock that barometer, that measuring stick, we can define success and then pursue it on your terms. And all of a sudden, your creativity is off the charts. It's out of the box, because now you are not living for someone else's vision. You're living for who you are, and you're expressing yourself in this world. And now your creativity can't be chained. It can't be stopped. And this is how we unlock creativity. We redefine the barometer from somebody else's definition of success to your definition of success. As someone who's Black in America, part of my definition of success is always, how do I bless my community? How do I improve my community? How do I make one more person more liberated, more self-determined, more free? That's my personal barometer. So I define success for myself, I pursue it on my terms, and all of a sudden my creativity is unstoppable.
All right, that I get it.
Yeah.
I absolutely get it, which is why I made sure I got one to help me in those areas that we've grown really accustomed to not pursuing, or, you know, we've been in such a kind of a zone, and it's definitely time to change it up. Definitely time to change it up. Hopefully everybody's sharing this with someone that they know, whether they are already in business, interested in branding themselves, all of those things. A younger person who may have an interest in business or just improving their life goals, you know, so please make sure you're sharing this information. In the notes, you see all of the coaches' information and the consultants' information. So please make sure you're sharing those details and take these nuggets for what they're worth. We're going to continue. Ladies, did either of you want to also address that question?
You know, I always got something to say. Okay, so because Emille, where were you when I needed you 20 years ago? That's all I got to say. So because I completely agree, I think we've been so indoctrinated to believe that our creativity was something bad. It was something wrong. You know, I remember, you know, I wrote a book and I wanted to share that with you guys. I brought it over here. Now I can't find it. I got all excited about what Emille was saying. But working in corporate America, one of my very, Nikki has heard this story many times, one of my very first experiences was I was the girl in the room with a purple dress on, with a purple suit. I had the audacity to show up to corporate America on my first day in a purple suit. And I was really berated about it and sent home. Purple suit, because I look like a church lady. I'm just gonna be honest. I did like a church lady. However, I thought I was looking amazing. I thought I looked great. I felt amazing. Here I was, a woman of color in the room. They hired 30 individuals to work on what they call the primary team. We were going to travel the country to handle storm claims. We were going to be that, that emergency team that showed up when your house was destroyed by a tornado or a flood. And I'm the only Black female that they hired out of a group of 30. And I show up in a purple suit. But I was made to feel as if something was wrong. My creativity, who I showed up authentically, was wrong. And so what happened was that stifled that, I agree, it stifled that creativity for me for many, many years. I questioned everything about who I was, my self-confidence, whether or not I would really raise my hand to stand up for a promotion and ask for an opportunity to move forward, because it all was tied into that very first day of showing up to corporate America and being berated about a purple suit. And so I agree, you have to really be able, we've got to really kind of retrain our thoughts and retrain who we are and what we've been taught, because let me tell you guys, it's a lie. It's not true. It's not true. Yeah. That's not who you are. And that's not how you have to be able to build and grow your life. You can tap into your own creativity, and your life will skyrocket once you really begin to tap into who you are authentically.
Now, Coach Mo, do you think it's something with you talking about that it's something that you see nowadays that we're teaching our children? You want to dress like everyone else. You want to do this. We're not teaching them to have their own creativity or dress how they want to dress or be who they want to be. Do you think that's an issue with today's society with our young people?
I think it can be. I do. I think I'm seeing a change. I think the pandemic has changed a lot, in terms of how we see ourselves and how we show up in the world. And so, yes, I would say yes. So often, we require our kids to not grow the real hair the way it grows out of our scalp. We taught them to deal with it. I'm sorry?
Trying to the relative position. I don't know what that means.
Is someone asking a question? I'm sorry.
Oh, I think they can hear.
Was someone asking a question? Let's make sure. Making sure everyone's muted.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought someone was asking a question. So I am seeing.
No, me, I'm bad. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing a transition. I'm seeing more parents are standing up and saying, you know what? I am going to allow my children to be who we are. I'm going to be very transparent. Can I be transparent with you guys? I was one of those parents that told my son he had to fit into a box. I'm just being honest. He had to look a certain way in order for him to show up. But what I found and what I discovered, now that he's an adult, we're reworking on that, because I figured out, I was stifling him, that I was doing him a disservice by requiring him to show up as someone other than who God created him to be. And yes, I am so very happy that I'm seeing more and more parents saying, you know what? We don't have to embrace that norm. We don't have to stay into that norm. You can't put me this round peg in this square hole anymore. I'm going to bust out of that thing. And I am just here for every minute of it. And I encourage everyone that's listening tonight, really, do a self-evaluation and think about those things as we're all raising children. We're bringing along that next generation. How are we helping them to show up as who they authentically are and who they were created to be? But Mickey, I think that was a great question. Thank you so much.
Yes, Coach Mo, you are on it. You and Emille, okay? You own it, doggone it, okay? I wanted to add to, you said a couple of nuggets in there. The first one was that you touched on creativity. You and Emille both touched on creativity. And for me, I associate creativity with gifts, right? And we know, to me, I believe God gives us more than one gift, right? And our job is to make sure we use those gifts to be of service to others, to make the world better, right? So in that creativity, when you talk about thinking outside of the box, in that creativity, I hear people tell me, occasionally, not often, but occasionally, where you're doing a little bit, you're doing everything, you're all over the place. I said, but I'm in the right place. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I'm all over the place to you, but I know that I have more than one gift. God gave me many gifts, and as long as I am organized and got it together or what have you, I'm going to use every last one of those gifts. So when you say think outside the box, like you said, it's time for us to reprogram the way we think. So I like to use this quote: instead of think outside the box, or realize there is no box. Okay, there is no box. We don't have to think outside of it, because there is no box. We can do and be anything we choose to be. It's up to it, period. So that was some good stuff, both you and Emille.
I would like to piggyback off of what the previous three speakers said. I think that we definitely underemphasize the importance of creativity. I feel like creativity is like air, like creativity is spirit. I feel like we can't disconnect ourselves from that. And too many times under those systems that we live in, we're expected to totally starve ourselves creatively. And I know when I was doing that, I literally felt like my spirit was dying. Like literally, I'm sitting here, and then I'm being told I'm going to be sitting at the same desk for 3 years, and I can't do the things that I was trying to do. And I'm gaining weight, like my body, I'm literally aging rapidly, and like literally being starved for my creativity for a corporate job, which I loved, but I couldn't do it. And I realized, like, for certain spaces, I'm literally unemployable if it requires me to totally sacrifice creativity. When I was 19, I had my first son. I named him John Brown. And I want him to get a job. I'm like, I need him to be able to get a job and all these things. And after I was incarcerated and I got out years later, my daughter, her name was Freedom. She was born in Belize in the mountains. Freedom. Like my little children, they go to a jungle school now. They learn through the Waldorf method. Like I'm not even interested any longer in that traditional system, because I don't think that it prizes creativity and imagination enough. We're all creations. We're all created, and creation and creativity is all that there really is. And if we have to starve ourselves from that part of humanity, then we're literally just becoming technobots. We're becoming robots, and we're really being programmed into losing our humanity through the sacrifice of our creativity. And I don't see that ever leading in a good direction.
I'm so glad that you brought that up. I'm telling you, when I met Dezi, you could see the transition that was happening. And she said,
the muddy middle.
We moving to Belize. And I said, you doing what? She said, we're moving to Belize. And I said, oh, okay. But she was very clear and sure about what her next moves were, because it was very, very clear that she had felt that she was being burdened and she needed to be free. And I respect that so much. That's one of the reasons that we asked her to come, because I know she has a perspective, though it may be different from what a lot of us have experienced. It's an amazing perspective, and she's using it to her benefit. So I knew that folks would be just so elated to hear your whole story. Which you don't have a problem sharing with folks. And we appreciate you so much, Dezi, for just giving that information. We're gonna keep it moving to the next question, so we don't have you all on here forever. The next question is actually for Dezi, and it reads, would you suggest that younger professionals consider coaching, partnerships, or consulting?
I definitely would consider, I think that's really important, because as a solopreneur, I guess this is the new hot word, it gets really exhausting a lot of times. Like you're working and you're around people and you don't really have those accountability partners, and you're like, it could get really exhausting and burnout when you're talking to people about your passions, and it's like falling on dead ears. Nobody understands it. And I think that that would be very valuable. I mean, I don't have one, and I think that that's something that's personally something that I could benefit from. So yes, simply yes.
Awesome. Any other other coaches, consultants wish to answer that question?
So the whole reason that I do this work today is to answer that question. What would you do if money wasn't an object? So I answer that question backwards. And that is, I had to figure out how to make money because I do this for the love of the people that need the service and need the help. And I'm happy to do it that way because it's more important to me to get this wisdom and this knowledge into the right hand. So any person who's in any endeavor whatsoever should have somebody who's helping them. If they're not above them, then they're beside them. And sometimes beneath you. It's okay if somebody is younger than you, who maybe has a different experience set than you do, who's pushing you. But the goal is to have somebody you can work with, somebody you can bounce ideas off of. It's hard, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to run every aspect of your business alone. And when I say alone, I mean, when you think that you can just figure it out from YouTube and the internet, no, you need a human being who's got some wisdom and some lessons, who can say to you, no, don't do that by yourself. Nah, bruh, that's not a good idea. Hold up, come on, sis, just a minute. What we need is that person who's out there reminding us that we're part of a community, and to tap into our community and get the help we need, because it's way too much work. You got accounting, you got marketing, you got taxes, man, it's too much. But more than that, you don't want to feel alone. And sometimes being an entrepreneur, you feel like you're the only person in the room who understands what you just said.
You're so right. Yeah, that we all can very comfortably relate to that, which is why I'm thankful for Mickey and Lakia. I talk to them sometimes more than I talk to my husband, because we're working to get things done, but we're also saying, this is at the top of the whiteboard. Are we going to keep this up here? What did we say today, Mickey? No, we're going to table that. We can't do that right now. It's just too much going on. And we do that for each other. What do you have going on? Oh, is this what you're doing with Sid? Okay, well, just to let you know, it's going to be this, this, and this. And she'll go, okay, I think I can handle that. I'm going to need some support. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be there to support that effort. We have to get our younger people, in my opinion, to get in that mindset early, because we're in such a hustle mode where we're always just trying to get anything we can, everything we can by ourselves. And clearly it's not the best practice to use. You know, you want to be in network, in communication. I'm in constant relationship building with folks, which is why I can call on some folks and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to achieve. Are you willing to support that? And, they'll text me back and be like, oh, okay, I'm glad that you still got my number. So it works. It really, really works. So please, again, share this with some younger folks, because we're trying to change the game a little bit and give them a virtual hand up, so to speak, to get some of this information early, so they don't have to wait until they're 40 and 50s and 60s like we are, to know that it's really important to have someone to support your efforts. Even sometimes it may not be family. You may need a coach or a consultant. So it's really, really important. Mickey, I know you have the next question. Sorry.
I want to hear from Dr. K. Hey, Dr. K, how you doing?
I'm blessed by the best.
Wonderful. The question I have for you is, what exactly is your role as a life coach?
So my role as a life coach is simply to, wherever areas in your life that does not align with your purpose, I help you improve that. So say, let's just I'll just keep it real with you. That man that you're trying to get over, okay? I help you align with your purpose with that. You understand? Because one thing I know, and no disrespect, Emille, but the woman is supposed to be the chaste, okay? Or that job that you're tired of, that you try to figure out how to quit or what have you, and you don't know what to do. I help you navigate through that by creating a plan that's best for you, that'll help take you to that next level. So I'm all about personal development, and I'm here to help you be the best person that you can be. So that's my role and my job as a life coach or a purpose coach.
Beautiful, ma'am. I love that. And the plan, we know the plan is important, folks. I'm telling the folks who I consult with, myself, especially some of my former students from Cheney University, tell them all the time, write it down. I said, did you write that down? Send me a picture. You wrote it down? For real? Did you write it down? Because my former mentor, who's passed on, Dr. Julius Flynn, he said, hey, if you thinking about it, it's just a thought. It's not a plan. A plan is written, has deadlines, goals, objectives, all of those things. And having that poured into me constantly for 4 years was what let me know that, first of all, I can do multiple things, like Dr. K said. So stop telling me I'm all over the place. Though you just can't keep up with what I'm doing. That's what it is. But withstanding that, the plan part of it, I'm writing down. What are we doing, Mickey? We writing it down and then we checking it off and we moving on to the next thing, and we're writing it down and we checking it off and we're moving on, and it's all a part of a bigger plan, a legacy. So you got to write it down. That plan is intricate. You got to write it down, get a whiteboard, get a cork board, do whatever you need to do, and make sure you can see it visibly in front of you. I'm so glad you said that. That is really, really important. Coach Mo, did you want to address that as well?
I do. Gosh, this conversation is just great, and dropping nuggets for myself as well. But you dropped a nugget about your mentor in terms of, a wish. If you just have a thought and it's not written, it's just a wish. It's not a true plan. It's not a strategic plan of action. I agree. It has benchmarks. It has goals that you are going to achieve. But the biggest part about having support is, having someone that understands your journey. It is so very difficult for someone to relate to you if they haven't experienced some of the same pain points or challenges that you faced in your own life. And, as a lifestyle strategist and a business consultant, those are some of the main things that I work with when I'm dealing with the women. And Mickey will tell you this, we talk a lot about, self-care and how am I going to help you uncover those things in your life that you're challenged with. How can we create a strategic plan for that? Because you know what, when your life is on shaky ground, your business is going to be on shaky ground. That's just real talk. That's just the way it is. And so if you don't know and don't have a plan for your own life, then you cannot and you will not be successful with a plan for your business. The two, one is very much dependent upon the other. So that's just really what I wanted to share.
Coach Mo, I need a touchdown celebration for what you just said. I need some touchdown dances by the Seattle Seahawks. Go Seahawks. Y'all, if y'all don't know, there's 1,000 different studies on the psychology of writing, handwriting, not typing. The psychology of writing things down transforms the brain. It's a different transformation than what you do when you're typing. Typing is a vastly different and lesser form of communication than handwriting. And the reason why is because your brain, when it tells your hand to write, is activating more motor neurons, which reinforce the memory and the visual cortex. So you're getting two different types of brain work when you write things down. So if you start with a vision in your brain, there's one activation of the visual cortex. Then you articulate that this vision needs to come to pass. There's another activation of the memory center. And then you actually write it down using your hand to write on a piece of paper. You're activating the visual cortex again and motor neurons. All of this creates reinforcement in the memory that creates a reality that your body then begins to live out. This is why writing things down is important, right? You get reinforcement in the mind, in the brain, and then all of a sudden, what was once a dream becomes a reality. In program management, we call it a plan of action and milestones, a POAM. A plan of action has a milestone attached to it that allows you to say, yes, I'm on track, or no, I am not. And if you have action and milestones, then you have a way to get from where you were to where you intend to be. Now, when we do it this way, when we go old school with them, which is why I created a workbook that you have to sit down and hand write in, it's because I want your brain fully engaged in the process of your life. And the way we live today, it's easy to check out of your own life. And we want you checked in. So that's what writing gives you. It's not just goal setting, it's memory, it's visual activation, it's vision. Man, I'm telling you, writing is underrated in this world because we think it's old school and it's so 20th century. But in fact, it's the best way to get what you need to do locked into the brain and then turned into action.
I wonder if it's appropriate, can I ask a cross question?
Absolutely. It looks like you guys are going to be getting some consultation from each other. That's all good too.
I'm serious because I'm thinking about like the cognitive steps that Emille just laid out. And I realized that what really helped me when back in college, when I really started to get on this path of like personal sovereignty, I had discovered vision boards. And I'm wondering if those steps that you just outlined might also like depend on learning style. Like if I'm like a visual person, is a step of visualizing the thought, verbalizing, finding the picture, cutting the picture, pasting the picture, laying the picture, putting, at one point I had like 5 different vision boards, one for spirituality, one for career, one for health, one for family, and one for something else. I'm not really sure what it was. Land, it was for land. And then over time, like it kind of like filtered in and I was able to write it and make it more plain, but like just seeing it was like, I was able to manifest it from seeing it or something. Like, I wonder if it varies from learning style or if it's just different levels for different people. That's why Pinterest irritates me sometimes. Like, I want to make a vision board. I don't want a digital one. You know what I mean? So I wonder if that maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it is. It absolutely is. It really depends on your learning style. For me, I believe in pen and paper. I'm very tactile. I still buy books. I want to smell that paper. I want to feel that paper. That's just who I am. But I think that's just has to do absolutely with your cognitive ability and also how you intake information. How is it that you are translating information for yourself? And I love vision boards, absolutely. I think that was kind of a hidden secret from us. Let me just say that, you guys, from many, many years ago. If you've listened to, The Richest Man in Babylon, he talks about, vision boards. And so that was way back, in the 1920s or whenever they did it. But I think it was just kind of a hidden thing from women, from people of color. I that's just kind of, it's been a new thing, I think, in the past 20 years or so. But I love that you have vision boards for different parts of your life. It's not just this one little cute thing that you decided you were going to do for New Year's with your girlfriends. It's something that you are really using to manifest what you want to see in your life. Love it. And I applaud you for it. And by the way, personal sovereignty, girl, I'm still in that. I'm just letting you know I'm still in it. What?
It's for everybody, yes.
I'm still in it. We're using that vocabulary in my community. I'm doing it. So yeah, love it, love it, love it.
You are so right. I wrote personal sovereignty down. I was like, yes, that's why we are having these conversations with these folks, because it's making you think about some stuff. That the spiral book that Emille added in his second edition, it's already halfway filled up because I need to see it. I need to write it. I need to understand it. I need to see it again. I need to repeat it. It's definitely, I believe, based on a learning style, especially because folks, there's so many now, and our children are learning very differently now. So yeah, that's a real thing. I'm not going to belabor the point. Mickey, is it your turn?
A question about vision boards. I think.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Someone was asking, is it a thing for men too? Are vision boards a thing for men? Someone asked that question. Would anybody like to answer that?
Yes. Yes, bruh, let me tell you, your brain works best when you have multiple sensory inputs. So when you can touch it, taste it, smell it, see it, hear it, it reinforces the brain. And for us men, especially for us men, because we are socialized into being less verbal and more do-oriented, we need something. So build a vision board that's three-dimensional. Build a vision board that gives your creativity a chance to just explode. You know, if you want to put it like cut out stuff, my vision board is actually in a book. I have a book laid out with pages, and I actually print pictures and paste them into the book so I can carry my vision board with me everywhere I go. Like, for real, a vision board is absolutely one of the best tools you'll use. And what I do is I take my written plan, my written goals, and I turn those into pictures. And then at a glance, I can look at the pictures, or I can read through the written stuff. So I'm going back and forth between vision board and my written plan, because I want to make sure that I'm on track and that I'm activating different parts of my brain on my behalf.
You know what? I want to add to you, Emille, and also to Dr. Mo, when you were talking about, you know, back in the 1900s or whenever that was, how, you know, they were doing vision boards. So what I instantly thought, I'm gonna go deep just for a quick second, but I instantly thought about slavery, right? And how when you talk about different learning styles, we were taught to read or write, right? So we couldn't really use our hands to actually write. So what do? Talking about that creativity, we braided the maps in our hair. You know what I mean? We did different things like that. So we were still using that creativity and that vision board, but just in a different way. See, one thing about us, we always make a way and we always find a way, no matter what. And that creativity is what led a lot of our people to freedom, because of those braids in their hair, you know? So I just wanted to add to both you guys, Coach Mo and Emille and Dezi.
Thank you so much, Dr. K. And you're right. We figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Enslavement, whatever. We're definitely going to figure it out. And it's really, really important that people know that there are resources and tools available for them to figure it out. You don't have to try and figure it out by yourself. I'm sure half of us, if not all of us in here, we're trying to figure it out on our own initially, until we got to a point and said, yeah, I need a team. I have to have a team. Everything that I want to do is so big that doing it alone it's really naive if you think about it. And you're kind of like assuming that you have all of this ability to do these things that you need the know-how of other folks to help you out with. And the writing it down, we're not going to belabor that. We talk about that all day. Write it down. Write it down. So, okay, we're going to move on. Mickey, you got the next question. I'm sorry.
I'm getting all into it myself about vision boards and writing stuff down and everything, you know. I just want to say, I want to go back to what Coach Mo said earlier when she was talking to Emille, when she said, you know, where were you, Emille, 20 years ago when I needed a mentor? He was mentoring me as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force 20 years ago. So that's where he was 20 years ago. I told Felicia, we just all over the place with these questions, because you guys, I mean, just all the nuggets that you all are dropping is just amazing. So Coach Mo, I'm gonna turn it over to you. And my question, you spoke about it a little, but if you can give us a little bit more, why would someone need a business consultant like yourself?
Sure. So a business consultant really helps to come alongside you and analyze what your current business goals are. And they're going to help you find resources to accomplish those goals and create a strategic plan of action in terms of how you're going to get there. Oftentimes, too, a business consultant is going to provide done for you services and done with you services. Okay. Now, which is very different from a coach. A coach is there really, in my opinion, what I've done is really to help you develop your current skills that you already have, what I call your GTSA, your gifts, talents, skills, and abilities. So the coach is there to really help you grow and blossom and thrive and develop with those current GTSAs. However, a business consultant is going to take those same gifts, those same talents, those same skills, and those same abilities, and we're going to put a plan of action for you to help you really accomplish the goals in terms of where it is you're deciding that you want to be or where you want to take your business. Now, oftentimes business owners, we wear multiple hats. Like we are, as Emille said earlier, we are the accountant. We're the marketing department, we're the advertising department, we handle HR, we're doing everything. And oftentimes it becomes so overwhelming with a client or with a business owner that they become paralyzed. They can't move forward. And so a business consultant is really going to be able to come in and say, I see you, I see those goals. Let's create a strategic plan. Let's put some business development actions in place, and we will help you do some of those things with you, done with you, and or done for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Emille, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah. So Coach Mo uses, GTSA. I use an acronym called Desire, DSRE. And as a consultant, as a personal consultant and business consultant, DSRE stands for desire, stretch, refinement, and execution. First, we got to figure out what it is that what's your discovery? What's the thing about you that makes you you? Really get you involved in the discovery of your true self. And then from there, we're going to stretch you, right? So this picture of you is as you are, but the as you will be part, that's where we stretch. We're looking to pull you out of your comfort zone and into the next phase of your growth and development. Then we refine that. We take all those rough spots, all those areas that need to be improved, all those things that you want to do or can do or should be able to do if you push and pull and prod and poke. And then finally, we execute. And when we execute, we're not, like I said, I'm not a coach in the context that I help you execute every step of the way, but are you ready to execute? Do you have the right mindset? Do you have the right basic set of resources? Do you understand that the future is moldable and shapeable and it is wet clay? Because if you have those four elements, discovery, stretch, refinement, and execution down, then when you take off, the future belongs to you. And this is what consulting does for you, is that it gets you ready for that next big step to say, I know what I have, I know what I can do, I know what I'm supposed to do, I know what I will do, and I know the resources with which I can do it. And when I'm ready to execute, the world becomes your downhill roller coaster. It's the most fun part of life, because the execution is just day to day, getting after it, going forward and seeing success, little success, big success, making new money, making old money work better, paying off debts that you thought would never get paid off. All this stuff is happening because you were willing to stretch into your next best self, refine yourself, right? That winnowing process of what really matters and what doesn't matter, and shedding what doesn't matter and keeping what does, and then being prepared for that execution. It is a whole new world waiting for us when we do that. So as a consultant, my job is to make sure that that vision, that whole process of discovery is a brilliant way. Coach Simone, she's got a great. I'm telling you, y'all, these coaches right here, four of us, we'll get you where you want to go. But more importantly, you will get us where we want to go, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you. So I just went off on a tangent, but I'm sorry, because I'm excited. Y'all, man, y'all dope. I know. I'm glad I'm part of y'all, man.
Mickey, I do want to jump in really quickly too, and I want to share what coaching is not. I don't know even know if that's a question or not. Is that a question before I jump into that?
It don't even matter, Coach Mo.
Okay, all right. So I want to talk about what coaching is not. Coaching is not therapy, you guys. And I often have to explain that to a lot of clients when they come to me. We have that first initial consultation. It's not therapy. However, I do believe that coaches are great collaborators with therapists, because see, the therapist is really going to help you identify what happened in your past and really help you unpack those things. So then you are ready for that coach to help you come in and be able to move forward. Right. And so you really have to be able to identify. A coach worth their salt because this is for anyone out there that's thinking about a coach, whether you're going to work with one of us or whether you're going to go out and find someone else. I want you to understand that coaching is not therapy. And if someone wants to give you therapy or acting as a therapist, and then I think you need to run. You need to run immediately, because they're going to really cause more harm for you than they are going to be to help you move and to be successful. So I just wanted, I don't know, I felt led by spirit to be able to say that, because oftentimes we get that muddled in terms of what coaching is and what coaching is not. And coaching is not therapy. However, we are great partners to therapists, because we can help you move forward once the therapist is helping you unpack and unravel what you have in your suitcase of the past. Make sense?
Yes, I like that, Dr. Mo, what you said. And one of the things that I absolutely love about coaching is that it's like I'm more of a future focused coach. You know what I mean? I focus on where, like Emille said, where you gonna want to go. But you know what? I'm gonna help you get there with motivation. You're gonna be excited about what's next. You know what I mean? I'm that type of cheerleader, motivator, accountability partner, or whatever you want to call it. So that's one of the things I like about being a life coach and coaching, because it really helps you to shift your mindset on what's next, on what's next. So that's some good stuff, Dr.
Awesome. Someone had a question for Dezi Speaks, Fit to Navigate, and wanted to know, Dezi, could you speak more on emphasis on the value imperfection?
Okay. So the value of imperfection, I think that it's really important that I'm sorry, I'm burping for a moment. Okay. But I think it's really important that we honor our imperfections. A lot of times we get caught up on those, especially, I'm not sure if it's just the thing with younger entrepreneurs and things like that, but, we want to be very productive, and we like honor these systems of like, I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and I didn't eat but 2 hours today, and I'm this and I'm that, and everything's perfect, and my social media is perfect, and everything matches and is perfectly aligned, and I have all the filters. And it's like, at some point, like, it's just repetitive and it's gimmicky and it's inauthentic, and it's like, are you even doing this? And if you are, that's fine. Like, but we don't need to like put unnecessary pressures on ourselves with already enough pressure on ourselves. Like, at some point, we really just have to be ourselves. And as Dr. K said, like, be the best versions of ourselves. Or was it Coach Mo? I feel like everyone at some point on this call has said, be the best version of yourself, but yourself, we need to eliminate the comparison, always trying to compare ourselves to our cousins or our old coworkers or colleagues or people we went to college with. Like, just stay in your lane, perfect your lane, put the gutters on if you have to, just let the ball go, hit your pins, like focus on your path. I'm not sure who wrote it, but there's a book called The Power of Concentration. And I think it's there and something, I don't know, I'll put the link up there later, but The Power of Concentration really was talking about like just focusing and how powerful you are when you focus on what it is that you have to accomplish. And if we can just eliminate all the comparison, if we can eliminate the distractions and all of these things that come with just trying to be someone that we're not, and we can just focus on being the best versions of ourselves, we can accept our assignments and we can execute them effectively, because sometimes you might be the only person doing that, or maybe you might be the only person doing that the way you're doing it, and it's okay, and sometimes you might make history or sometimes you don't, like, but you made an impact. And so just accepting that and just doing your best and, not comparing yourself to people who might not even be telling the truth to begin with.
Good points, Dezi. Very, very, very good points. And great question. Great question. We aren't always just trying to make everything look glossy, and I respect people, even though I'm not that person to put my woes online. I'd be like, wow, okay. But it's real, and some people choose to share, some people don't. Some people, like Coach Mo said, may require some therapy. That was the last session that we had. We're going to have another one, though, where you may need to and go engage yourself in that as well. You know, that's a conversation that we had for 2 hours last month, because folks, in the midst of a pandemic, everything we have going on, it's just a lot going on. You know, so if your interest is to be perfect, good luck with that. We embracing it now. I know I'm at an age now that I'm embracing. I can't do that. Sorry, I don't know how, and I'm not interested. That's how I am now. So I'm so excited. We're getting close to our time to wrap up. So I hope you guys have heard all that you needed to in this short period of time, but we are going to do this again. Hopefully you've shared this video. Even if you're coming in on the tail end of it, please share it, especially share it with some younger folks or some folks who may be in transition, because we all had to do some pivoting, right? Some major pivoting. And it's really important that you know that you are not the only person pivoting. Okay, we are, in fact, you might want to know how to pivot. I tell my daughter all the time, you better know how to pivot. I'm kind of dipping like I'm boxing, but it's the same thing, you know, and it's really, really important. And I just want to share just this one thing. I tell folks all the time, the reason that I aspire to have more was because I had folks who were showing me what more could look like, from a little Black girl from North Philly. You know, who lived in the projects and all that stuff, all that. One gentleman, Frank McDonald from Coatesville, took me to see new development homes, single family properties in Westchester. And I was looking around saying, you know, I lived in a row home. I was looking around saying, oh, houses are separated? Never knew that because it wasn't something I was familiar with. But when Mr. Frank took me to see those model homes, I said, yeah, this is what I want. I'd like to see myself in there. That visual representation, that did it for me. And that's what we're trying to show our young people, especially our younger professionals who are interested in different types of careers. We're trying to put all of these people together from these different walks of life who are going to be able to come and share with you, hey, this is what I did. This is how I was able to get here. Here's some advice. Here's the school I went to, a virtual hand up, so to speak. It's so important, and we need it more now than we ever have, especially with the world just being in a kind of, you know, you just don't know what might happen next mode. We have to be better prepared, and these folks are preparers. I love that. They are organizers and planners and mentors. So please make sure, if you have not already, and we're going to end with some closing remarks. We are excited to commemorate our 100th member in our BizNet platform. So excited. We've been working on this platform for a couple of years, and now it's moving, and we have writing cohorts and virtual mentorship programs and all types of stuff we're doing. So to celebrate our 100th member, our milestone, we are giving everyone who showed up tonight in the Zoom and the lives, it's all documented, as well as our 100 new members, we're giving you all an hour free business consultation or life coaching. All of you, everybody gets it. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. So we are so excited and thankful and grateful to the coaches and the consultants who are providing this for you. So I know you heard some really good things. Make a decision now on exactly who you'd like to have a conversation with for an hour to pump you up and inspire you to move it on. If you've just been sitting around and not really moving at all, and you're ready, like Coach Mo said, the mindset, if you're ready to do that, here it is. You have no excuses, no excuses. So we're excited. We'll be sending that information out. You have to be a member of the BizNet, so make sure you've created your profile. The information's in the chat. Text me if you didn't do it yet, because I've probably been sending it to you, but hey, take advantage of this opportunity now. We're going to end with some closing remarks from our wonderful panelists, and we'll start with Dezi.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for the amazing questions. Thank you for the opportunity to stimulate new thoughts. And I appreciate all the other speakers for teaching me so much tonight, as well as everyone else who chimed in. And remember, know your worth, and with the right strategy, you can set your own schedules.
Awesome. And we can go to Dr. K. You want to go next?
Absolutely. Thank you again, beautiful people. Felicia, you are amazing. Okay. As well as you, Mickey. As a matter of fact, everybody on here are great. It's great. But listen, this has definitely been my pleasure. If you guys need to reach out to me or contact me, I put my website in the chat, and also you can pick up my latest copy of My Purpose Journey. It's a self-help book, a self-guide book to living a purposeful lifestyle. And Dezi, I see you holding your baby. Girl, quit playing with the people. Quit playing. You better girl, y'all got grandkids, kids. Listen, I am that person to write books for our beautiful brown boys and girls, because representation matters. So again, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Felicia, and everybody else that's been here, that are here. Thank you.
Awesome.
Coach Mo, you have anything you want to say next?
Yes, it has indeed been just truly an honor and a pleasure to be here and to serve tonight on the panelists and just be amongst these beautiful, amazing people. Very, very grateful. But here's what I'm being led to share. I'm really, Nikki will tell you, I'm always being led by the Spirit. And so last night I facilitated a training where we were talking about how you activate abundance in your life. And what came out of the conversation is, and this is what I want to wrap up and close with, is I want to encourage everyone that's on this Zoom, or if you're listening out in Facebook land, I want you to embrace the principle, because we're talking about spiritual principles, of living your truth. Here's what I know for sure. True joy really comes from a place of honoring and living your own truth and being your best and highest authentic self. Don't fall into the traps of trying to live the life that you think others think you should be living, but really embrace the true joy of living your truth. If you guys want to connect with me, I put all of my links, my link tree and all of my links in the comment boxes tonight. But I also wanted to share my book as well. I am a best-selling Amazon author. And so it is called What I Wish I Knew on the Other Side of Agency Ownership. And it's lessons in life and in business for the woman insurance entrepreneur. And these are things that I wish someone had told me before I actually started my very first insurance agency. They didn't tell me all the secrets, y'all. And so I'm busting it down. I'm busting down the doors and I'm telling all the secrets, because I don't want another woman to go through all of the blood, sweat, and tears that I went through, all of the challenges, the heartache that I went through, and feeling like they had to do it alone. Again, you guys, I love y'all. It has indeed been my honor and a pleasure to serve. Thank you so much.
Darlene, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, I wanted to get Dezi's Cash App.
That's really nice. I'll put in the chat. Thank you so much, Ms. Darlene. Appreciate that. It's cash sign RTF family, Revolutionary Travel Family, RTF family. I'll put it in the thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And finally, last but not least, Emille, did you want to give your final thoughts? You're muted.
So this is my workbook. This is the handwritten, I do not do a digital one, version of how you're going to figure out your ikigai, your reason for waking up every day. If you're confused about who you are or you're making a pivot, I wrote a book that catalogs my journey into knowing my purpose. And what I had to do is I had to go back in time and look at my past and understand who I was from that. And what we often overlook is the power of our memory. Our memories hold the key to our future. And this is why we learn Black history, because that corporate, that collective cultural memory holds the key to our future. Wealth is created in community. So when we study Tulsa, we don't study the Tulsa for the massacre, we study Tulsa for the Black Wall Street. When we study Rosewood, Florida, we study Rosewood not for the injustice, but because Black people worked together to figure out who they were without having to rely on our oppressor. The same thing can happen with you personally. When you go back in your past, the key to your future is unlocked when you examine your past the right way. So take a look at who you are, because who you are today is a result of all the decisions you made, and then decide who you want to be going forward, knowing your purpose, because your purpose is deep inside those memories, is deep inside those experiences. And what I want to do is I want to encourage everybody to begin a practice of daily reflection, meditation, self-discovery. Look at who you are so you can know who you want and can be, because the future is unwritten until you write it. And what we have been told, especially as Black folk in America, is that you are X, you are a criminal, you are a pimp or a prostitute, you are a drug dealer, you are a burden to society. No, we are a people who have magnificently created the culture that this nation calls its own. We are the ones that created jazz, soul, hip hop, gospel, and R&B. We're the people who create the dances that everybody on TikTok is doing. We're the ones whose vernacular that comes off our tongues so easily turns into the latest cultural fad. And your history, your personal history, can have the same impact on your life that our cultural history has on this nation. So I encourage all of us to begin the process daily. Self-discovery, self-reflection, look at who you are, who you want to be, and then work. One step is all I ask everybody to take. One step each day toward what you say you want. Whether it's a big old step, a little tiny step, whether it's a sentence, a paragraph, or a page in a book, whether it's writing or reading, whether it's talking to someone brand new, stepping outside your comfort zone, maybe not taking that sip of alcohol, perhaps taking a sip of alcohol. You got to decide what's important, but you got to make your decisions for you and not based on someone else's decision that you are something you have not chosen yourself to be. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. You can find me at my website, emillebryant.com. I put it in the chat already. You can find my book, Start With a Sparkle, at startwithasparkle.com. And what am I here for? I'm here to change the world, one person, one idea at a time. And I do that just like I did today. I woke up today for y'all. And tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up for somebody else. And every day, hence, I wake up knowing that at least one person's life is gonna change because I was in it. So y'all have a great night. Thank you very much for your patience and your time, because I have learned as much as I taught. And man, I'm telling you, I got truckloads from y'all. So thank you.
Wonderful. Dezi Speaks, did we hear from you already? Your final thoughts?
Not her book, though. She didn't
Not
share
her book.
her book.
Okay, we need to hear about it.
Okay, the book is called Felony to Freedom, Journey to Liberating and Incarcerate the Institutionalized Mind. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. John just walked up. I have 4 children, so if I seem scattered, it's because I have a 16-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-month-old. So, that's all part of the personal sovereignty journey. You know, you pick your struggle, and I choose my family, and I love it. And it's just the best journey in the world. And I'm a felon, and I feel like I'm free. It doesn't come with all the luxuries that a lot of other lifestyles have, but I wouldn't change anything. I feel like if I died today, I'm absolutely fulfilled. And I'm excited about everything else that life has to bring. And I'm thankful to be here. And thank you for, giving me a voice or a place to express my voice. And I hope to work with some of you in the future. Well, all of you, but, obviously can't be everybody's.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, again, as we wind down, just a huge thank you to our panel for taking the time out of your busy schedule just to sit down and just to speak with us, Facebook, everyone tonight. You all don't know how much Felicia and I both appreciate it. So again, we're going to make sure that their contact information is going to be in the chat box or comment box, just in case you want to reach out to them. Like I said, just 4 amazing individuals. Again, thank you, Emille. Thank you, Dr. K. Thank you, Coach Mo. Thank you, Dezi Speaks. We appreciate all you all. We hope you all have a wonderful night, and we hope that we see you again. Please feel free to come join us again. You all dropped some just amazing nuggets tonight. I got a lot of stuff written down, but again, everyone have a wonderful night, okay?
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Good night, Facebook.
Bye. Night, Facebook.
Good night.
Good night, all.